G-rated sex. Anybody want to take a guess on what G-rated sex is? Thank you very much. It's called godly sex. Now, there's a difference, and we're going to talk very specifically about it next week. There's a difference between great sex and godly sex. Great sex is just great sex. Godly sex is great sex and godly sex. Okay? So, invite your friends, your family, and everybody to come. Because that's one of those topics that nobody wants to talk about in church, but guess what? We're going to talk about it, get right into it. We're going to make you squirm a little bit, but it's all going to be scripturally based, and it'll be good. So, last week, let me read real quick. Last week, Song of Songs, and we started out in chapter 1, verse 2. And this is the courtship and the preeminent wedding day between a Shulamite woman and King Solomon. She says, "Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth, for your love is more delightful than wine. Pleasing is the fragrance of your perfumes. Your name is like perfume poured out. No wonder the maidens love you." Now, what characteristic was wrapped up in that passage? Anybody remember? Remember? There's number one. What was
She
one
was
of the
like
four
a mule?
things?
Visual attraction.
No. Remember the perfume? Godly name, the godly character. Godly character was wrapped up here. Okay? Verse 5, "Dark am I, yet lovely, O daughters of Jerusalem, dark like the tents of Kedar, like the tent curtains of Solomon. Do not stare at me because I am dark, because I am darkened by the sun." What was the second one? The trust. Yes. Growing. Loving her past her insecurities. Loving her past her insecurities. Number 3, verse 7. "Tell me whom I love, where you graze your flock, and where you rest your sheep at midday. Why should I be like a veiled woman beside the flocks of your friends?" Okay, number 3. What was that one? Thank you. Who said that? Zim? Okay. Higher standards. Now, anybody remember the percentages of those higher standards of the marital and premarital sex? Give it to me. 97%. 97% of all Americans have premarital sex. 97%. It's only that 3% that withstand and hold out and do what's right. And everybody turn around and say good morning.
What's up, Tristan?
What's up? You guys come in. I start talking about sex and here they come walking in. Not in like he was pointed at you. All right. Last one. Verse 9. "I liken you, my darling, to a mare harnessed to one of his chariots of Pharaoh." What was that one? Say again?
Consistent encouragement.
Consistent encouragement. Why did Solomon liken the Shulamite woman to the mare?
Because he loved horses.
He loved horses. And this particular horse was almost a deity. It was white. Remember what she thought about her skin? It was dark. So he had that godly characteristic. He loved her through her physical insecurities. So they grew in trust. She set the higher standard and said, "Nah, sorry, ain't gonna be like no other you know what. Not gonna do what they do to get you." And then he gives her consistent encouragement. Out of that, she feels two things. Women, how does that make you feel? Makes you feel what? Number 1, special, and 2, secure. In that security, what's your job? Men, you have a job that consists of 3 things. What's number 1?
Be her pastor.
Be her. Well, this is on this. Okay. Be her pastor. What does that mean? What does that mean to be her pastor? Spiritual leader. How hard is it for us to be a spiritual leader of our wife and our family? Be honest. It's super hard. You know why? Because you got other pastors who have been called to do that. So it's easier for us to shove that responsibility there. Okay? We'll come back to that. What's the second one? Her provider. Her provider.